Hello everyone, and welcome to my new show. I'm really excited for this one. I've put a lot of thought behind it, and it is called the American Dreamscape. Now, you might wonder, why is the camera a little slided? Well, I think it's a little more casual. My avoidant attachment style has propelled me to make the show because I don't really want to enjoy the present right now. Let's explore the past because I really want to avoid the present. Let's talk about basketball. A nation's sport. James Naismith, he was annoyed with these annoying kids. They're like, we don't have anything to do. We're sick of tag. And so they just made a bucket and you put the ball in the hole. Really simple. And I think the simplicity of that sport is what makes the sport so creative. I mean, we think about the dawn of time with those first players like George Mikan, who I never have seen any clips of. Also Bill Russell. I mean, Bill Russell was like the start of it all. He was the true champion, rest in peace. In the 60s, I don't really know much about the 70s, besides like Julius Erving, who, by the way, my brother sent a letter to and got no response. But when I sent a letter to Michael Jordan, I got a fan, like it was probably a generic response, but I got a cool picture. I still have that picture today on my wall. We think about like Steph Curry, what he's done to the game. I mean, he had 52 points last night. And I mean, I don't know when I'll upload this, but that's crazy. Anyone that watched basketball in the 70s, 80s with like Hakeem Olajuwon and Larry and Magic will be like, listen, that era is the best. I respectfully disagree. It's simple as evolution. You got a guy like Magic Johnson who would still probably be great in this NBA, but just because, he was so IQ smart and so fast and athletic. But problem is people, like if you're guarding him on defense, you're going to back away a little bit because he's not going to shoot the three. And I think when people say that the defense is worse, well, spacing was worse back then. I mean, there's a reason the triangle offense is not ran anymore. The Great American Dreamscape, we have a feature here. Now, the triangle offense, fun fact, I don't know if Phil Jackson made it, but basically what it does is very simple. Triangle. You have a guy at the post, maybe a guy at the elbow, and a guy at the up top, around the 3-point perimeter line. And kind of it's all about moving through them, getting the ball to the post, then cutting or moving around. Kobe was great at it because Kobe could move and Kobe could shoot. And so that's why Phil Jackson said master, one of my favorite coaches ever to play, or to coach, I guess. So good at what he did. Now, take Tom for example. He's a great shooter, and he is super quick and agile. Very kind of escape. And this is kind of like what the title office is, because it's basically like, I'm going to respond what he does. And okay. Basically, I want to kind of with this show, I really want to kind of focus on the Americana aspect of our country. I'm patriotic to a certain degree. And I love some of the stuff that we used to go through. I mean, I think what inspired me to make this episode is Winning Time, the show on HBO about the Lakers and Showtime back in the 80s. And the reason I was so cool was because the Lakers were a dying franchise. I read the book Showtime that it was based off of, and they were a dying franchise. They're like, I remember, this might be fictional, but Red Auerbach, or I'm not saying his last name right, but the guy that basically led the Celtics to 800 titles, was like, oh, good luck picking up that franchise. You'll never win anything, to Jerry Buss. And Jerry Buss is like, all right, buddy, like, just wait. I honestly so prefer the Lakers to the Celtics, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One, Celtics. Sorry, guys, but some of your fans are just like the absolute worst. It's just true. Like, you guys in Philly, absolute worst. In Kansas City, Chief fans, but that's... If I actually saw one in person, I would lose my mind. LA is just cooler. Like, I mean, to think about like Magic Johnson taking a $500K check, which was like second highest paid at the time, to go play for Jerry Buss and the Lakers. Incredible, because that ended up to be a stupid contract for Magic. And Magic knew that he was worth more because he could bring people into stadiums. He could pass the ball like no other. And I think his teammate leadership skills, I mean, he played center when he won the finals, which is just incredible, especially like with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being there. But I think he broke something when he was in the finals. Sorry. This show will be researched. I've done my research, but I'm not going to be pulling facts from a computer. I will if I tackle more issues, especially in the future. We might have guns, just like America's obsession with guns, going all the way back to the musket, domestic affairs. I really want to get into politics of things too. I need to be a little more thorough and precise, which really. I mean, let's mention 88, 89, and 90, because for Michael Jordan to be great, he had to beat my Detroit Pistons a few times, and he couldn't get through them. And it really showed the adversity of his career, the story arc. I mean, he had to get through Magic and Larry, who were just at the top of their game. Larry is probably my exception. He's probably my favorite Celtics player, easily. I like Jaylen Brown. Tatum, the problem with Jason Tatum is I do like him because I dislike him because he's good. And I really respect his career. He's 26 and he's done so much. But I'm just telling you guys, all you Celtic fans, that I have green eyes. I love green. It's one of my favorite colors. But your jerseys, God, gross. I mean, purple and yellow is so, purple and gold, it's so cool. You think about all the guys that wore them. I mean, LeBron wears Lakers jerseys. It's just sweet. And now Luka, the progression of it all. I think about how Oscar Robinson back in the 70s, he was a free agent and he got to choose where he wants to go. Also, that is something that is one of the biggest tiffs with today's NBA, is how everyone leaves for a different team and trading. But it's guess what? If I was gonna make $8 million more somewhere else, I might consider going there. It's easy to say that when we're sitting on the bench. Hey, Pond, can you stop sneezing? My cat's sick, sorry. But I just think it's really easy to say all this stuff when you're on the bench. And it's same with how people harass, athletic people for sports gambling. I mean, they can't do anything. They're just trying to win a basketball game. It's not about individual performance for them. It's their role. Cade Ice Wood, my favorite player in the NBA right now, Cade Cunningham, sometimes he might have a 15-point game because he's passing the ball so well. And you just got to play the ball as it lies. My favorite part about basketball is the rhythm of it all. Like I said earlier, the simplicity of, just put the ball in the hole. You had guys like Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell that would just take the ball, put it in the cup, because they were tall and it would get the ball to them. Now it's a lot more complex. Curry, who does a lot of domination from outside the perimeter. And then you got guys coming back that are vintage, kind of like Shea, SGA, who will just get to his spots at the mid-range and take his shots, and he's effective. Even though that shot is really not effective anymore. It's the same reason that Kobe Bryant could just score at will, is because he can attack from any spot. He could shoot off the base. He could shoot off a turnaround. It's just beautiful. I mean, the whole sport has a rhythm to it because there's 24 seconds to make it, into the basket. I think there's a lot of rhythm to it. And I think the individual style of it all is it's glorious. It's my favorite sport to watch easily. And all you basketball haters, it makes me really sad. I just want to talk about some of my favorite players to ever play. Allen Iverson. I know people don't like him, but man, he was short. He was a monster. I mean, he had no one on his team, and he almost beat Kobe and Shaq. I mean, not almost, he didn't, but just the effort to make it there, really impressive. And just what he did for the NBA, where he's wearing cornrows and kind of dressing how he wants, and people label him a thug, but he was really just individual, personality. Like, it wasn't like he was a thug. He's one of my favorite players. Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite players in the league. So explosive, throwing the ball down, just dunking on all these haters. And, I really like how he just does not care. I mean, Magic Johnson. I was talking about him earlier, but he's one of my favorite players to ever play. Just the absolute flair that he had. He could pass the ball. He was not a selfish player, but he could do it all. And I like guys on defense that can really just make an effect. Kevin Durant's always been one of my favorites. Just an absolute killer from anywhere. Just absolute shooter. Kobe Bryant, one of the biggest inspirations of my life, and I'll always remember where I was when he died. He's very special to me, and I'm getting a little choked up right now, but I love Ben Wallace. I like offense, of course. I like offense. It's fun to watch, but Ben Wallace is a force, and Asar Thompson on the Pistons kind of reminds me of that. The MJ versus LeBron debate is one that everyone likes to talk about. And I kind of lean LeBron. I like both. They're both very he comes in after he can't be left out, my cat. The only reason I like LeBron more, for career-wise, is the longevity of it all. And if I were to start my franchise with one of them, I would pick LeBron. It's so special, to play at 40 and play with your son. It seriously is one of the greatest things ever. I've always liked CP3's game. I think, just to be a facilitator and to handle the ball you need a good point guard to win. I think that's why Cade Cunningham, when he got drafted to Detroit, I was so happy. Also, you got guys now that, Nikola Jokic, probably would dominate in the 90s because no one would know what to do with him. He just would be such a great facilitator. Centers being able to dribble and shoot threes and pass the ball, that is a new thing. That is in the last 5 years type thing. And I just think people like to hinder on that. We're there's no defense. Well, guess what? I'm telling you that if you put Steph Curry in the 90s, he would be averaging a lot more. It'd be terrifying for a lot of people for him to come off screens and take a three. Because they used to do it in 2004 with Rip Hamilton and the Pistons, where he would come off screens to take a mid-range shot. All that work for a two-pointer that really is not the most effective shot. So the fact that everyone can make them now, Dame Lillard. This has been the American Dreamscape. Welcome. I'm hoping to do this at least once a week, and it was really fun. I just talk about things I really enjoy and kind of, how they gravitate to America and the world's game. NBA has become international since MJ. But it's really the place where where everyone goes to play basketball, which is why Noah Lyles' comment about the NBA was garbage, because where else are you gonna go play in the world champions? The NBA is world champions. It's a stupid comment. Congrats on your gold medal, though. I'm not hating. I promise. You're a great runner, but it's just a stupid thing to say. Kind of ignorant. Anyways, this has been Funkadelic Coffee House presenting the American Dreamscape. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. And tell me what you want me to research, because I'm definitely going to do more serious topics going on, but I just wanted to get it out there, okay? So thank you so much.